Good morning. Welcome to All Souls, where we love beyond belief. Here at the Point, agnostics, atheists, humanists, and all kinds of seekers gather in community. No matter what you believe or don't believe, or where you come from, you are welcome here and you are loved. I'm Eileen Kinney, President of the Board of Trustees, and you may notice that things look a little different in the sanctuary this morning. All parts of our service today, from the greeters to the chalice lighting, the music, and the reflection, are being led by a board trustee. Our reason for doing this is to continue to strengthen the board's support of you, our congregation and guests, and help ensure that you know that we are here to represent all of you. You have elected a reasonably smart, talented, dedicated Board of Trustees. And here's the and let me state the obvious. We are not professionals. We are not professionals like our fabulous ministers and worship team, so it is entirely appropriate that we are leading a service during a month where the theme is grace. Our trustees are participating both live and in person and in recorded meditations. And we are just so excited to be in service with you this morning. We extend a hearty welcome to our online viewers and everywhere members watching from across the globe. Please consider staying for our coffee hour and conversations immediately after the service. If you are a first-time guest or new to All Souls, the ushers are here with a gift for you. As they come down the aisle, just raise your hand so we will know, and keep them up until you receive your gift. Just raise your hand if you're a first-time visitor or new, okay? Great, thank you so much. And you are also invited for some light refreshments or a chance to meet with our Welcoming Souls team in the Sonnen Library, just outside the sanctuary to the left after the service. We would love to get to know you better. Now, at this time, if you will please join us for the covenant that is printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now, we will welcome Rod Harwood to light the chalice.
Thank you, Eileen. My name's Rod Harwood, and good morning to everybody. We light our chalice to honor our capacity to recognize brokenness, to seek forgiveness, and to accept grace. We light our chalice to celebrate the resilience of the human spirit, which makes it possible to meet life's difficult challenges. And we light our chalice to signify our commitment to support one another in our quests for wisdom and understanding. May its light remind us to offer forgiveness, generosity, and grace to all.
Good morning. Is it on? Can you hear me? Okay, I've got a good voice. We're good. Good morning. I'm Roz Elder. I get to read the story for all ages this morning called The Invisible Boy. Can you see Brian, the invisible boy? Even Mrs. Carlotti has trouble noticing him in her classroom. She's too busy dealing with Nathan and Sophie. Nathan has problems with what Mrs. Carlotti calls volume control. He uses his outside voice inside too much. Sophie whines and complains when she doesn't get her way. Well, Nathan and Sophie take up a lot of space Brian doesn't. When the bell rings for recess, Micah and JT take turns choosing kids for their kickball teams. The best players get picked first, and then the best friends of the best players, then the friends of the best friends. Only Brian is still waiting and hoping. JT glances in Brian's direction and just as quickly looks away. We've got enough players for each team, he tells the others. Let's play ball. In the cafeteria, Madison and her friends talk about her birthday party. Oh, the rope swing over the pool was awesome, says JT. Yeah, so was the water slide, adds Fiona. That was the best pool party ever. I'm so glad you guys had fun, says Madison. Everybody did, except Brian. He wasn't invited. At choosing time, while the other kids play ball games and board games and read, Brian sits at the table doing what he loves to do best. He draws fire-breathing dragons scaling tall buildings, space aliens locked in intergalactic battles, greedy pirates digging for treasure, and superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. On Monday morning, Mrs. Carlotti introduces Justin, a new student, to the class. Brian smiles shyly at him. Some of the other kids sneak looks at Justin, trying to figure out if he's cool enough to be their friend. They haven't quite made up their minds yet. At lunch, Madison and JT watch Justin eat with chopsticks. What's that? asks Madison as she points at Justin's food. Oh, it's bulgogi. What? Bulgogi. It's Korean barbecued beef. My grandma made it for me. It's really good. You want to try some? Oh, there's no way I'd eat booger. Well, all the kids laugh, that is, except Brian. He sits there wondering which is worse, being laughed at or being ignored and feeling invisible. The next day, when Justin goes to his cubby to put away his backpack, well, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. It's a note that says, Justin, I thought the bulgogi looked good. Brian. At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. Justin approaches and says, You're Brian, right? Yeah. Thanks for the note. Hey, Justin, Emilio calls from the tetherball court. You're up next. Sorry, I got to go, says Justin. By the way, that's a really cool drawing, he adds before taking off. Back in class, Mrs. Carlotti asks the kids to team up in 2s or 3s for a special project. The kids scurry around the room to pair off. Brian heads toward Justin. I'm already with Justin, says Emilio. Go find somebody else. Brian looks at the floor, wishing he could just draw a hole right there to swallow him up. Then Justin says, Mrs. Carlotti said we can have up to 3 people in our group. We're only 2. Come on, Emilio, let him work with us. Okay, I guess, Emilio agreed. Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in that photograph. Use your imagination and have fun. Whoa, cool, says Emilio. What kind of people do you think live in houses like that? I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story, says Justin. Brian smiles and takes out his lucky pen. It's lunchtime again, Brian's least favorite part of the day. Another 20 long minutes talking and laughing with everyone else but him. Brian, he hears someone shout, hey, Brian, over here. Brian turns and sees Justin waving him over. Emilio nods at Brian as he makes room for him at the table. Maybe, just maybe, Brian's not so invisible after all. I invite our children and youth to go to their classes and practice really seeing each other. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Francia Allen, and today I'm going to be sharing the song Japanese Bowl with you. It is a song that, as I was searching for something to share for this service, it jumped out at me. Since our theme is grace, I was looking for the songs that had the word grace in it and gave all these different types of meanings, and I happened to stumble upon the Japanese Bowl, and as I began to listen to the lyrics, it had the word grace was nowhere in the song, but I understood that these bowls are cherished items that the Japanese decided to fill with gold and continue to keep them. And as I think about us, we are imperfect people, and we are at times not at our best. We are weak at moments, and grace is the thing that allows us to have a second chance. Grace is the thing that carries us through. And I believe that the substance that fills the cracks in these bowls is what the grace is in this song. So this is Japanese Bowl. I'm like one of those Japanese bowls that were made long ago. I have some cracks in me. They have been filled with gold. That's what they used back then when they had a bowl to mend. It did not hide the cracks. It made them shine instead. So now every old scar shows from every time I broke. of those Japanese bowls. I was made long ago. I have some cracks you can see how they shine of gold. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, Francia. What a beautiful song. I can relate to that, feeling like one of those cracked bowls sometimes and needing to be filled with something good to lead me on. In just a moment, we're going to hear a beautiful song by one of our board members is an everywhere member. So she lives in Minnesota, Jeannie Lee. And so she sings in a small choir there, a hospice choir. And she's online right now, I understand. Hello, Jeannie Lee. She and her choir, they put together a song to follow the transition. So we're going to hear her in just a moment. But I'm the senior minister here, and I wanted to come forward and just mention a couple things that have been happening in our world before we take a moment in silence together. One of the things my predecessor here at All Souls used to say that grace is the goodness of life that is available to everyone to the degree that we have the capacity to receive it. And sometimes when our hearts are broken or other things, we have a hard time just receiving a beautiful sunset or birds chirping in the sky and things like that. And so one of the ways that we can get back in touch with the beauty of life is to sit in silence for a moment and just breathe and just be present with the very moment that we're here, that we're alive, that we're safe, that we're cared for in this community, and so many other things. So I just want to mention a dear member of this church who passed away this week peacefully at age 99. Peggy Cadenhead was a member here, and for many, many years, decades, and a leader in many capacities. So we're thinking about Peggy, and we will carry on the love that she had for this place in our own way. And also thinking about our minister, our program minister, Reverend Nicole Kirk, who is homesick today, not feeling well at all. We're sending her our love. And of course, all the folks in California who are dealing with the tragedy there, all the destruction, loss of life and property. So let us lift up our hearts for all of them. And let's take a moment of silence. We all have different things going on in our lives. Let's take a moment just to breathe and be together with nothing else but the silence and the beauty holding us.
May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be well. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be well. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be well. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be well. May you be loved. May you be happy. May
Greetings, Humanist Service, and all the good people here in person here in Tulsa and also in our online community. Thank you for being here. Grace is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Grace is unmerited favor, love and forgiveness given not as a reward for good deeds or a promise of future behavior, but as a gift. Its power lies in its ability to transform us and to restore harmony within ourselves, with others, and with life itself. In essence, grace is a salve that heals the brokenness in our hearts, our communities, and our world. I don't have to look any farther than my own home and marriage to see the power of grace manifested every day. The fact I found anyone to love and accept this neurotic goofball with all my shenanigans is all the evidence of grace I need. So with much love and gratitude, thank you, my family and Emily. Today I want to share how I've come to understand grace from three perspectives: the Christian tradition, existential philosophy, and Greek mythology. If you look with me through these lenses, together we'll see how grace reveals the inherent beauty and love present in the world. Together we will see how grace inspires us to share that transcendent love and mercy with others. Let's begin with a Christian understanding of grace. My first encounter with grace was in my religious upbringing. As a refugee of fundamentalism, I've since moved beyond many of those teachings. But one profound lesson stayed with me: grace as the antidote to human brokenness. I was taught that all people are fallible and imperfect, and that sometimes we harm others and ourselves through our actions. Christianity offered grace as a remedy, not because of human worthiness, but because of divine love. This idea is beautifully illustrated in Victor Hugo's masterpiece, Les Miserables. And, by the way, it's showing in the Performing Arts Center coming up in a couple of weeks, so if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to do so. Jean Valjean, hardened by 19 years of imprisonment for stealing bread, is shown a radical act of mercy by a church bishop. After the bishop gives him food and shelter, Valjean, full of bitterness at his lot in life, steals the church's silver and flees, but is subsequently apprehended by the police. Instead of confirming Valjean's villainy, the bishop tells the police that he had gifted the silver to Valjean. He then encourages Valjean to live a life worthy of grace. The bishop's grace and mercy transformed Jean Valjean's life, inspiring him to become a force for good. He builds a business to help others, rescues a child from neglect, and becomes an agent of compassion and mercy. This story captures the transformative power of grace. Valjean becomes a beacon of love and mercy to others only after receiving love and compassion when it was least deserved. Grace inspires grace. For those who don't hold to Christian theology, grace still has profound meaning. Existential philosophers like Sartre, Heidegger, and Tillich explored how humans often fall short of their own ideals. And we all do sometimes, don't we? For the existentialists, without the framework of a divine judge, we are left with only ourselves. We alone are responsible for our choices and the brokenness we create. This self-awareness of the ways we fall short of our own ideals can lead to profound despair, a sense of being overwhelmed by our flaws, mistakes, and the suffering caused by human wickedness and imperfection. Yet despite the burden of this responsibility and the reality of the suffering we've caused ourselves and others. Existentialism points us to the ubiquity of beauty, goodness, and love in nature and in humanity. Grace is in the soft breeze on a steamy summer day, the dancing butterfly in a field of lavender, the falling star on a moonless night, and in the unexpected kindness of a stranger. Furthermore, the existentialists, like the Buddha, taught about the impermanence of all things, reminding us that with change as the one thing we can depend on, and without the assurance of an afterlife, each moment is precious and full of grace. Even the darkest moments will pass. It is what we do with this present moment that matters most. Grace in this context is the light that emerges from life's darkest places. There is the problem of evil, but also the manifestation of good. As Fred Rogers said, quoting his mother, "Where there is suffering, look for the helpers, look for the good." Grace teaches us that, despite our flaws and failures, life offers us beauty, healing, and hope, unearned and unexpected. In this way, grace restores our humanity. It calls us to take responsibility for our lives, not with shame or guilt, but with the understanding that in our imperfections, or even because of them, we can create beauty and love in the world. We are capable of receiving and responding with grace. Like we heard in Francia's beautiful song, with kintsugi pottery, the Japanese art of enhancing the beauty of broken objects by repairing them with gold, our broken parts and imperfections reveal beauty as they are enhanced by grace from others, from life, and from our own self-compassion. No exploration of grace would be complete without a nod to Greek mythology. This is the humanist service, after all. The three graces, euphrosyne, meaning joyful radiance, algeia, meaning splendor and beauty, and thalia, meaning abundance and fruitfulness. These three graces embodied the qualities of joy, beauty, and creativity. They were attendants to the gods, bringing cheer and charm to their gatherings. The graces symbolized the flowering of life, the moments of wonder and beauty that sustain us even in dark times, as they did for Aphrodite after she was called out for infidelity. The myths remind us that grace is not only a human quality, but an inherent part of the universe. It appears in the natural world, the bloom of spring flowers, the quiet stillness after a snowfall, the vastness of the ocean, and the glorious panoply of stars in our night sky. And grace appears in the human world, in a child's laughter or a loved one's embrace. Grace reveals itself in acts of love, kindness, and creativity, moments that remind us of the beauty and abundance of life all around us. When we embody this grace, it changes how we live. Acknowledging the unearned gifts of life, such as our relationships, the beauty of nature, and the simple joys of existence, encourages us to share that same generosity with others. Like the three graces, we are called to bring light, beauty, love, and creativity into the world. Grace is not passive. It invites us to act. When we experience grace, we are compelled to share it, to pay it forward. We have all received grace in our lives, perhaps forgiveness we didn't deserve, or kindness when we least expected it. Moments of grace inspire us to respond with compassion. As we face challenges, division, injustice, and suffering, grace calls us to respond not with judgment and anger, but with love. This doesn't mean we ignore wrongdoing or injustice. It means we strive for justice through love, through compassion, seeking to heal rather than to harm, and seeing the beauty in every soul, in every moment. I want to invite you to do 3 things during this month as we explore the theme of grace together. You may even want to write these down. Number 1, reflect on grace in your own life. Recall a moment when you received grace. How did it affect you? What happened inside you as you experienced that? Number 2, practice self-compassion. Our guilt or shame rarely help anyone. Show yourself grace for your flaws and mistakes. Forgive yourself as you forgive others. Healing begins within. As Brené Brown says, I am imperfect, but I am enough. Number 3, extend grace to others. In moments of conflict or judgment, ask yourself, how can I respond with mercy and love? Will my actions increase grace in the world or diminish it? As you do these things, celebrate life's grace. Look for the beauty and joy in every day, even in the small things, or especially in the small things. Look around you, look within. Beauty is everywhere. Let it remind you of the abundance and generosity of life. In conclusion, the spiritual teacher Adyashanti wrote, grace is all around us if we only have eyes to see it. The good moments are grace, and the confusing moments are grace. When we can begin to open enough to realize that there is grace in every situation, in each person we meet, no matter how easy or difficult we perceive them to be, our hearts will flower. And we'll be able to express the peace and the love that each of us has within us. Grace is a force that heals brokenness and reveals the beauty and love in the world. Whether we find it in religious traditions, philosophical ideas, or the natural world, grace inspires us to live with greater love and mercy. It calls us to be agents of healing and transformation, to celebrate the gift of life and to share its abundance with others. I hope that something I've shared helps you see or reminds you how grace reveals the beauty and love that is present in the world. If you look for it, you will find it. I also hope that you'll be inspired to share it widely and freely. Thank you.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow show so on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? What they're really saying is, I love you. I hear babies crying, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Beautiful. We're not only intelligent people, your board, we're also very talented. In a moment, we're going to take up a collection for the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemoration Society. But before we do that, let me invite you to several things that are happening in the coming weeks. If you are ready to join and become a member of All Souls, or if you want to know more about becoming a member, join us upstairs in room 203 at 11:15. And the folks who are new or newish, if you want to learn more, join us in Soren Library just outside, as Eileen said, to the left out there. Our welcoming team will be there to serve you some refreshments, and they are waiting to answer your questions about All Souls history, our programs, and more. And this afternoon, from 1 to 3:30, join us in Emerson Hall for a Justice Jam. It is your chance to learn more about the work of All Souls Justice teams, plus connect with others who share your passion and discover how you can help make a difference. And then on this coming Wednesday, is that the 15th? Wednesday dinner chapel and child care returns. You can mix and mingle with old friends and meet some new, as Wednesday Connections is staying alive in 25. Come march with us in the MLK Parade on Monday, January 20th, and the float preparation will take place on Sunday, January 19. Find out the details on our website or in your order of service. Our Green Team invites you to a climate justice revival on Sunday, January 26. There will be workshops, interactive sessions, and a climate-focused humanist service. So register to attend on the website. And for more information on these and other events, you can check on our website for more details. And now, as you know, or maybe not, it's been a long tradition in All Souls history to give our plate away to a nonprofit organization in our community and beyond that are doing good works. We do this as a practice of our living values of generosity, love, and service. This week's offering is going to the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemoration Society. The MLK Commemoration Society is a nonprofit organization dedicated to preserving and celebrating the life, work, and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. Through diverse programs and events, the Society strives to inspire individuals and communities to carry forward his vision of equality, justice, and unity, fostering a better future for all of us. And for those of you, probably all of us in here, are so concerned about the catastrophic things that are happening in California, we will be taking a collection up. That's going to take a long time, weeks and months, so maybe more than once. So we'll now gladly receive your donations.
I sang a song in the first service. I'm going to go ahead and reprise it now because I've had several people that missed it. So they asked if I would play it. It's by the Avett Brothers, if anybody knows.
Whoops.
When my body won't hold me anymore and it finally lets me free, will I be ready? When my feet won't walk another mile and my lips give their last kiss goodbye, will my hands be steady? I lay down my fears, my hopes and my doubts, the rings on my fingers and the keys to my house, with no hard feelings. When the sun hangs low in the west and the light in my chest won't be kept, held at bay any longer, when the jealousy fades away and it's ash and dust for cash and lust, and it's just hallelujah, loving the thoughts and loving the words, loving the songs they sing in the church, and no hard feelings. Lord knows they haven't done much good for anyone, kept me afraid and cold, so much to have and hold. When my body won't hold me anymore and it finally lets me free, where will I go? Will the trade winds take me south through the Georgia grain, or the tropical rain, or the snow from the heavens? Will I join with the ocean blue, or run into Savior true and shake hands laughing, walk through the night and straight to the light, holding the love I've known in my life, and no hard feelings. Lord knows they haven't done much good for anyone, kept me afraid and cold, with so much to have and hold. Under the curving sky, I'm finally learning why it matters for me and you to say it and mean it too, for life and its loveliness and all of its ugliness, good as it's been to me, I have no enemies. I have no enemies. I have no enemies. I have no enemies.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being with us today and for your openness to be part of this experiment we had. All of us on the board would love to greet you at the door on the way out, and Jenny Lee also online. And now, as we part, let us keep our minds and hearts open to carry the Spirit of grace with us, to choose compassion when judgment seems easier. To choose compassion when judgment seems easier, to find wonder in the ordinary moments that often slip by unnoticed, and to extend understanding to others and to ourselves. In life's challenges, may we draw strength from our shared humanity and embrace the beauty of this moment and the potential of tomorrow. Let us go forth, dear friends, blessed with the strength to embody grace and be a blessing to others and everyone